noise that I don't know if y'all can hear it, but when I have it in a high gear but I get really low RPMs, the car likes to sometimes start kicking extra fuel into the exhaust where it ignites in the exhaust, and it makes like kind of like backfiring noises, but like, you know, as a sports car is revving down or a muscle car is revving down, kind of backfire noises. So, you know, a lot of auto manufacturers design their vehicles to make that noise. It's not actually a fault or issue with the car or anything like that. A lot of manufacturers make the cars make that noise by default for the sound and the feels that it generates in people. Something satisfying about it, apparently. You can increase that kind of noise also by ripping out your exhaust and throwing in an H pipe. A lot of modern vehicles either have a single pipe, or if it's a dual exhaust, they'll have a Y pipe that brings it out to a single exhaust. Well, dual exhaust from your motor, from the motor itself. But then it gets turned into a Y pipe that makes it a single exhaust pipe at the end of your vehicle. The ones that maintain it all the way through typically have just two straight pipes, or it goes in a Y pipe and one of them's a fake exhaust. Person just ran a red light. That one right there. I know a lot about exhaust systems today than I did before today. One of the things I learned is that X pipes are better for more sports car applications, like you need more torque and horsepower at higher RPMs, maintaining high-end speed, high-end performance, like when you're already up there and moving and rolling pretty fast, pretty good. While H pipes are better for low-end torque, like low-end torque and horsepower, like when you need to tow a car behind you
Liberation Army, or BLA.
Good evening. Echoes of the violent radical underground of the 1960s rolled over the New York suburb of Nanuet today in the botched ambush of an armored car that left one guard and 2 policemen dead.
Boudin's parents were driving the getaway U-Haul truck with $1.6 million in stolen cash and members of the BLA in the back when police pulled the van over at a roadblock.
As soon as they opened up the door to the U-Haul, the shots just started being fired. I saw a policeman fall.
Boudin's mom served 22 years in prison for her role in the robbery and murders. His father remains in prison in upstate New York, serving a 75-year sentence. Boudin got to know his parents through plexiglass and on occasional weekends through a visiting program where he slept in a trailer on prison property. He says he and his parents saw too many examples of inmates who were never rehabilitated.
Years, now decades of visiting my parents behind bars taught me hard lessons about how broken the criminal justice system is, about how devoid of compassion. It's not healing the harm that victims experience. It's not rehabilitating people, and in many ways it's making us less safe.
Boudin was adopted and raised by ex-Weather Underground members turned university professors. He says he knows his privilege. Private schools, counselors, and whiteness helped him navigate growing up with parents behind bars. He became a Rhodes Scholar and a Yale Law graduate. Today he talks often of the need to get at the larger why behind criminal behavior.
Is mental health or drug addiction at the root of what occurred? Is there something else motivating it? We need to do a better job identifying what's contributing to the crime and making sure we hold people accountable in a way that addresses that root cause.
We talk a lot about root causes. What were the root causes of your parents' crime?
I was a year old when that occurred, but I think the root cause was their dissatisfaction with and alienation from our democratic process. And I'm really proud that I've gone full circle from that and been able to choose to try to reform a system that I see as broken, not through armed struggle as they did, but rather through the marketplace for ideas and a democratic election.
The son opting for his own form of revolution will need lots of support to get his agenda enacted when he's sworn in come January, including cooperation from the many powerful forces who opposed him and were stunned when he won. Hark, NPR News, San Francisco.
While many Americans are watching the impeachment hearings play out on television screens, some are learning about it in classrooms.
NPR asked teachers around the country what it's like to teach impeachment. For India Meisel in Suffolk, Virginia, it's not her first time. She taught through the Clinton hearings, but she says this time is different.
My generation was, you waited for the newspaper to come out, you'd see it on TV, the whole 9 yards.
Meisel says nowadays students receive a lot more information and they get it through social media, like Twitter.
Anton Schultzky also taught during the Clinton impeachment, and he says the news cycle these days makes it a challenge to keep up with current events.
I could teach something first period, and by the time I got to 5th period or 7th period, things will have changed dramatically.
Another challenge that comes with teaching impeachment? Arguments. In fact, some teachers try
changing the character of a once neighborly frontier.
Yeah.
I feel it's very
What's going on here,
intimidating
guys?
just to have the bearing.
Why we all breaking? What's the slow down? Throw down? Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks for joining us at WFPL on this Wednesday. I'm Janice Franklin.
I don't see any lights of police, fire, ambulances. Why y'all so busy here at the Shepherdsville exit, huh? Huh? What's going on? I'm only like 5 minutes later than I usually am. Is there that much of a difference between 5:25 and 5:35? What the tally, yo? Sick today, so we're gonna get the pizza and then go home. He's gonna have some pizza, then go back to sleep probably, and I'm gonna get to do some housework and things since he won't be there to do anything. I mean, he'll be there, but he just will be out of it. Strep throat is what he has. Apparently, I am back to being immune to most forms of strep throat again. I got it really bad. Like, I got it real bad for like 5 years in a row. Now, nada. The strep of the throat does not attack me anymore. I know that wasn't a good rhyme, but whatever. Quarter mile. Y'all get to see a slightly different route today. Ever so slightly. Much different. Wow. Crystal. Or even a White Castle. Preferably a Crystal. I have to go down to Bowling Green to get to my next Crystal. Makes me happy, very sad.
In an office building outside the United States Capitol here in Washington.
Crystal Hamburgers. I hope you're watching this. I know you're not because no one watches it. But by golly, if y'all get a hold of this, exit 121, I-65 in Kentucky. A lot of good space right here. As the last major, or really slightly underdeveloped intersection on and off ramp before you reach the major parts of the city. It'd be a great place to drop a crystal at. As you're about ready to see, look at all this wide open free space left and right. So much free space. All kinds of centers and buildings and shopping can be thrown up here. Bunch of little restaurantes. I just wish they would widen this road to 2 lanes. In 2 lanes both directions, but they haven't yet. Because look at this.
Impeachment inquiry is going to be talking to Laura Cooper this evening as part of its investigation. That she was a top Pentagon official overseeing
Pioneer Village.
Europe, and she was aware.
Now, there was one recent advance for possibly withholding military aid to Ukraine, and that was a concern over corruption. And that leads to a question which perhaps we will hear put to Laura Cooper at some point, because our colleague, David Welna, has reported here on NPR that the Pentagon, as a matter of course, looked into the question of corruption when weighing in on this military aid, this lethal aid. There is a question of waste. Will it go where it needs to go? And there
Got no person turn left.
have been problems with corruption for many years.
Jesus Christo. On El Stico. Is this where I need to be? I think so. Yeah, where I need to
Now,
be.
as we're talking, we're hearing some sounds from the hearing room. I want to note that many members of the committee are now in their places. I don't see the witnesses yet, but we expect to see them shortly. And as we wait, let's
I couldn't remember how far down this actually gets south, and I suddenly remembered it. Where I need to be is just slightly up here on the left. Slightly.
And he spoke at great length about his dealings with Rudolph Giuliani, the president's personal lawyer who was pushing for investigations in Ukraine. Let's listen to some of that.
I first communicated with Mr. Giuliani in early August, several months later. Mr. Giuliani emphasized
Work phone just
that
did a
the
boink.
president wanted a public
What'd you do,
statement
boink?
from President Zelensky committing Ukraine to look into the corruption issues. Mr. Giuliani specifically mentioned the 2016 election, the server, and Burisma as two topics important to the president.
surrounded by photographers. This must be a strange experience, actually, to have dozens of professional news photographers leaning in as you sit there at a witness
I really should
table.
come take a
They will
look
get
at
their
everything
30
that's
seconds
around
for a
here.
moment to do their jobs, and then they will clear out of the way.
I'm not familiar with any of this stuff anymore.
Of the committee, and here the reporters are clearing
Someone like David Hale would have been there before because he's been in disaster before. But I think it was very Senate confirmation hearings.
Apparently, little strip center over here on the left now. That post office right there is a Derby City. Hey, a punch him. That post office is a one of those points in ingress.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the sixth in a series of public hearings the committee will be holding.
Also a gym in Pokemon. Gotta catch them all.
There is a quorum present. We will proceed today in the same fashion as our other hearings. I'll make an opening statement, then the ranking member, Mr. Nunez, will have an opportunity to make a statement. Then we will turn to our witnesses for their opening statements if they choose to make one. Audience members, we welcome you and respect your interest in being here. In turn, we ask for respect as we
Y'all, BRB. All right, so how quick that was. There's still people waiting in line. Check it out. When I get pulled out here, got a big white truck that was sitting over here. They haven't gone up to the window yet. So I was able to place my order using the app 45 minutes ago, knowing the approximate time I'd be here. Come park, walk right in, get my pizzas, and go. This guy right here is sitting there waiting for them to get done with the pizza and still get it out to them. The advantage of online ordering and not having to interact with the people. It's also the reason why I prefer to use the U-Scan lanes whenever I go to a grocery store. Or actually, hell, any store that has U-Scan. Home Depot, Lowe's, Kroger, Meyer, Walmart. What else has U-Scan stuff? That's the most common ones off the top of my head.
Including anti-corruption reform. The aid was in the national interests of the United States and critical to Ukraine's security, a country that had been invaded by Russia. From her office in the Pentagon, Ms. Cooper oversaw a significant amount of security assistance flowing to Ukraine and was involved in efforts to understand and reverse the suspension of nearly $400 million aid. Cooper, along with others, learned about the freeze during a series of interagency meetings in the last 2 weeks of July.
Yeah, allows me to be like, yo, all y'all people in front of me are going to take too long to go through and scan your stuff and get it back while you're waiting for everybody else. Meanwhile, if I go through, I can have like, I know exactly what needs to go with what, where it's going where. It's already pre-bagged, or rather, I'm bagging exactly where it needs to go and everything. So that way, even when I get home, I know exactly where everything's at and what it goes with, and it's easier to put up.
No good explanation of the hold was provided. While the 8 suspension had not been made public, word was
Now I don't have to deal with anybody talking with me, asking me any questions, or if there's any issues with something not scanning right. 9 times out of 10, I can usually fix it. And if I can't, leave it there, or get the person to come over and help me after I scan everything else. Move on to the next thing. So much easier to deal with new scans.
Very surprised at the effectiveness of my Ukrainian counterparts' diplomatic tradecraft. As in to say, they found out very early on, much earlier than I expected. The Ukrainians wanted answers. The Croft did not have good response. But then, in late August, Cooper met with Kurt Volker, with whom she had met many times in the past.
Can't even remember the last time I went through a regular line at a grocery store.
Volker revealed that he was engaged in an effort to have the government of Ukraine issue a statement that would commit to the prosecution of any individuals involved in election interference. Unquote.
I legit cannot remember the last time I did that.
Successful, the hold might be lifted. Unbeknownst to Cooper, no such statement was forthcoming. But the aid was abruptly restored on September 11th.
Is near.
Launched an investigation into the Trump-Ukraine scheme. With that, now recognized by That's Devin Nunes in California. As we Republicans have argued at these hearings, the American people are getting a skewed impression of these events. That's because the Democrats assumed full authority to call witnesses, and they promptly rejected any new witnesses the Republicans requested. So I'd like to take a moment to discuss a few of the people in this testimony that may be unacceptable for the American people to hear. The whistleblower.
The situation here, yo.
Who started this entire impeachment charade by submitting a complaint against President
not
Trump that
political
relied on
fucking
second-hand
situation,
and third-hand
right? It's-
information.
Did he or did he not create a situation by saying what he said on that
This began a
phone?
bizarre series of events, although the complaint had
Don't
no
politicize
intelligence
it, just flat
component
out be
whatsoever.
factual. Both
The Intelligence
sides.
Community Inspector General accepted it and even changed the guidance on the complaint forms to eliminate the requirement for first-hand information. Then his office backdated the forms to make them appear as if they were published a month before. Democrats then took the extremely rare step of pushing a whistleblower complaint into the public, using it as the centerpiece of their impeachment crusade. We later learned that Democratic staff had prior coordination with the whistleblower, though the Democrats themselves had denied it on national television. Following that revelation, Democrats did a dramatic about-face. They suddenly dropped their insistence that the whistleblower testify to us and rejected our request to hear from him. Then, in the hearing yesterday, the Democrats cut off our questions and accused us
Jesus Christ,
of trying to out the whistleblower, even though they claim
The way he's talking here is like the Democrats. No, it could have. It's definitely been very different subsets of Democrats. Name the names. Be specific. Don't just say the Democrats, because you're at that point saying
in order to smear
half
the Trump campaign in 2016.
of Congress and the Senate,
Directly about these matters with then Ukrainian Ambassador Chalet,
the House,
who
whatever.
himself wrote an article criticizing Trump during
Half
the
the people of the nation. No, be specific. Name the names.
Several indicators of Ukrainian election meddling in
So we know
2016,
who to blame.
all of which were aimed
Shit
at the
goes
Trump
south,
campaign.
man. Come on.
Once you understand that Ukrainian officials were cooperating directly with President Trump's political opponents to undermine his candidacy, it's easy to understand why the president would want to learn the
What?
full truth
No.
about these operations and why he would be skeptical of Ukraine. Hunter Biden. Biden is another
That's the
witness
story
who
the Republicans are pushing on
sparing
this?
from
No,
cross-examination.
it's stupid.
The securing of an extremely well-paying job on the board of a corrupt Ukrainian company, Burisma, highlights the precise corruption problem in Ukraine that impeach President Trump for having expressed concerns about the company. If we could hear from Biden, we could ask him how he got his position, what did he do to earn his lavish salary, and what light could he shed on corruption at this notorious company. But Biden would make an inconvenient witness for the Democrats, so they blocked. At these hearings, we heard a lot of second-hand, third-hand information and speculation about President Trump's intentions. But in the end, the only direct order we've heard from the president is his order to our last witness, Ambassador Sondland, that he wanted nothing from Ukraine. That is consistent
dude.
with the testimony provided by
Walk
Senator
against
Johnson, who said
traffic.
that President Trump angrily
And
denied
not in all
accounts
black.
that a quid pro quo
Almost ran you over.
existed. Aside from rejecting our witnesses, Democrats have tried other petty tricks to shape public opinion. Just this morning, they
If
called
we're
a
gonna
break
walk
in the
with
hearing
traffic,
in
walk
order
further
to
on the sidewalk
press
or
their absurd
to the
arguments
ground.
to TV
Jeez.
cameras. Then, for this
All these
hearing,
people
they
in black
canceled
in
the
this
multiple
dark
rounds of initial
night.
questioning they
Come
had
on.
earlier today.
Wear something reflective so we can see
They
you.
had with all the previous witnesses.
And that's why you get hit
Who they
and
bizarrely
die.
consider as their star witnesses. When you look through the presumptions, assumptions, and smoke and mirrors, you see the facts of this case are clear. President Trump was skeptical of foreign aid generally, and especially skeptical of aid to corrupt countries like Ukraine. He wanted to discover the facts about Ukrainian meddling in the 2016 election against his campaign. A brief hold on Ukrainian aid was lifted without Ukraine taking any steps they were supposedly being bribed to do. President Zelensky repeatedly said there was nothing improper about President Trump's call with him, and he did not even know about the hold in aid at the time he was supposedly being extorted with it. So what exactly are the
Yeah, y'all
Democrats
can drive around me,
impeaching
right?
the president for? None of us here really know, because the accusations change by the hour. Once again, this is impeachment in search of a crime. So, Chairman, I would urge you to bring this to a close, to adjourn this hearing, and move on, and get back to the work of the Intelligence Committee. That, I yield back.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you, gentlemen. Today we are joined by Ambassador David Hale and Ms. Laura Cooper. David Hale serves as the Undersecretary of State for Political Affairs for the Department of State, a position he has held since August 30, 2018. Mr. Hale joined the Foreign Service in 1984 and holds the rank of Career Ambassador. He previously served as the Ambassador to Pakistan, Ambassador to Lebanon, Special Envoy for Middle East Peace, Deputy Special Envoy, and Ambassador to Jordan. Ambassador Hale also served as Deputy Assistant Secretary of State and Executive Assistant to Secretary of State Albright. Laura Cooper is the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Russia, Ukraine, and Eurasia at the Department of Defense. She is a career member of the Senior Executive Service. Ms.